Hello again, everybody. Today is the 30th day of January 2026, and here I go again. It's 85 degrees here in my hometown of Ventura, California today, and I am going to go to Mr. Softee for a treat you only used to be able to get at Disneyland and at Dole Plantation. Yes, I am talking about the Dole Whip. So let's go. Got my Dole Whip here, nice and cold on this hot January day. This stuff is so good and refreshing on a day like this too. I heard that they have a different flavor in here. They told me all we have is pineapple today. I didn't know it came in any other flavors. Apparently there's a peach flavor. So you used to only be able to get this at Disneyland and at Dole Plantation on Oahu, but it's gotten out in the wild a little bit more, and you can get it in a bunch of places now. Apparently we can get it here at Mr. Softee's in Ventura, and we can also get it at Coastal Cone in the harbor, which I think they had it first, or they had it before this place was even here. You know, funny enough, the Dole Corporation is headquartered here in Ventura County in Westlake Village. Man, look at that frozen goodness. So one thing a lot of people don't understand about our area is the weather. So we are coastal Southern California, and we have all of these mountains behind us that have like little river canyons going through there. In the winter, typically when it gets colder inland, the air there sinks and it starts to come out here through those river canyons. And if you've ever like pumped up a bicycle tire and felt the end, like the end of the pump, it's hot. It's because what happens is you're taking all of that air and compressing it down. So all of the heat energy that's in that whole column coming down fits into this space. So the temperature spikes, and then it starts to transfer to the case, you know, the cylinder of the bicycle pump. Well, the same thing happens here. You've got this air that's falling in the higher areas, even where it's cold. It can feel cold while you're there. You know, it could be 50 degrees or 40 degrees or whatever, but that air is sinking, and then it comes through these canyons going towards the ocean. So it's going from a higher elevation to a lower elevation, and it's compressing in that time because the air is thinner up there. So by the time it gets here, all of that heat energy is in a smaller space. So we get a temperature spike from it. That's why we get 80-degree Christmases, or, you know, 85-degree New Year's days, or like today, it's the end of January and it's 85 degrees. Well, it kind of works the reverse. So when it gets really hot inland, so if you go to like Central Valley, California, if like you're in Bakersfield and it's 110 degrees or 115 degrees, that air is rising. So it starts to pull in air from, you know, the surrounding areas to fill the gap of where that air is rising. Well, it starts to flow through those same river canyons coming off the ocean. And what that does is it draws in the air off the ocean, bringing with it typically the marine layer. So it could be 115 degrees inland, even closer than Bakersfield. You could go like to San Fernando Valley and it could be like 120 degrees in some places there. But what'll happen is it'll bring that air off the ocean heading towards these river canyons, and it will keep us easily 20 degrees cooler, sometimes 30 and even like 40 degrees cooler than those areas. So it might be 120 in the valley, but it might be only like 70 degrees here at the coast. Now, that does mean we have a lot of fog in the spring and summer until that whole situation reverses like I described before and starts to flow the other direction. Now, also associated with that, because these river valleys are not terribly wide, is all of that air is moving through there, and you get some high winds sometimes. So that's why we get, they call it the east winds or the Santa Ana winds. Not only are they hot and dry, but they're also pretty gusty as well. You can get like 90 mile per hour gusts. And that's when we get a lot of the fire situations. It's not because of the heat. A lot of people say that. I don't know why they do this on TV, like on the news you watch, they'll put in there like, you know, something to do with like the fire hazard for a particular day, and they always include something to do with the heat. Has nothing to do with that. Bushes burn at like 450 degrees. So a 20 or 30 or 40 degree temperature difference here on the ground isn't going to make a fire burn any better or worse or faster or slower. It has nothing to do with that. It's all about the wind. It's kind of nice because we have like this air conditioner in the summertime and we have like this heater in the wintertime. So that's what's going on now. It's, you know, late January, end of January, and we've got our own like built-in heater. And it's not all the time. I mean, sometimes there'll be like a full-on air mass that's coming down from the Pacific Northwest, where the difference in pressure isn't really changing. So like there's no air moving back and forth between the interior of California and the coast. It's just all coming down from like the Pacific Northwest. And if that air mass is cold, yeah, we're going to get the cold. But you still will get some gusty winds too, like after rainstorms. We can get like a nice rainstorm, you know, come through, dump a lot of rain. And right after that, behind the cold front, we'll get some spotty clouds, very unstable air, and often kind of chilly, but not like freezing temperatures. You will probably never, ever, ever see frost here in coastal Ventura. Now, if you go inland a little bit, like to Ojai or Thousand Oaks or Simi Valley, yes, you will get frost, but not here in the coastal areas of Ventura County. So in front of any of the mountains, whether it's the hills or the full-on mountain ranges that are behind our county. So there's a little discussion on why it's so warm today, and it was yesterday, and it looks like for the next week and a half we're going to be in the 70s and 80s. And what I'm doing about it, right? Getting a Dole Whip. The Dole Whips are great. Like I said, you can get them here at Mr. Softee. You can get them at Coastal Cone. Another thing that's fun is the pineapple shake at Foster Freeze. That's a good one. It actually has chunks of pineapple in it. So that's another good one you can do to cool off for today. Hey, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little discussion and visit to Mr. Softee for a Dole Whip. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Until next time, take care. Okay, slight detour. A little Alfred coffee down here in Beverly Hills. So the deal I was expecting to do yesterday, I guess, finally went through. So it's actually cooler here. It's not in the 80s like Ventura, and my coffee is hot. So I got a breve, which, as you know, is espresso and steamed half and half. It's kind of like a latte, but with half and half instead. Don't ask me what this is. It's interesting though. Big old piece of art. And here I wait. I used to send out the list of internships from UTA in my previous life for all of the film students looking for internships. For reals this time, I'm saying goodbye. See you tomorrow. Thank you for spending time with me. And until then, take care.